Okay, good evening, team. As there was a request to present some COBOL and DB2 programs. Okay, so today I am introducing a simple COBOL program. Okay, and this COBOL program I'll be using the JCL to compile this COBOL program, and next I will be using a JCL to run the COBOL program, and I will be trying to explain you in real time which is the JCL we are using, whether it is the run JCL or the compile JCL, and what will be there in the run JCL and what will be there in the compile JCL. Okay, so now here today it is just an introduction class, so I will be directly going through a COBOL program. Okay, going forward I'll be explaining what is COBOL, why it is used, properties of COBOL, and different divisions in COBOL. Okay, and what are the mandatory divisions which are required to run the COBOL? Then different loops in the COBOL, then different data types in the COBOL, then what are subroutines in the COBOL? Okay, then how one program calls the other program, then what is dynamic call, what is static call. Then I'll be going forward, I'll be explaining you array concept which is called as occurs. Okay, in occurs I'll be explaining the single dimensional occur and two dimensional occur. Then I'll be explaining the difference between search and search all with some examples. Then we will go through reading of the files, like how the files are read in the COBOL program and where the files are given in the JCL. Okay, so what is the difference between a DD name and what is difference between the logical name. Then we will learn how JCL will identify uh, the programs, which programs to be executed. Okay, so going forward it will be only COBOL JCL, then after that it will be COBOL DB2. In between I will be explaining VSAM datasets. Okay, three types of VSAM datasets. Then finally I will be explaining CICS. Okay, CICS with COBOL, CICS with DB2. Okay, so now let us start with a simple COBOL program. Okay, COBOL stands for Common Business Oriented Language. Oriented Language. Common Business Oriented Language. Okay, so why COBOL became famous is because of the data processing properties. Data processing properties. And COBOL became more famous because it is written in a way that we try to communicate on a day-to-day basis. Like suppose if I want to accept something, I'm writing a keyword called as accept. Okay, so what accept will do, it is accepting the data given outside the COBOL program. Okay, if I want to do some calculations, I will use a keyword called as compute. You can see here. Okay, so you can see line number 11. Okay, it is using a keyword called as compute. Okay, compute is I'm trying to do some kind of calculations, and if I want to display the result of my calculation, I'm using a simple keyword called as display. Okay, so from one program, if I want to call a other program, I'm using a keyword called as call. Okay, so because of this simple things, COBOL became a very famous, and it is easy to understand and to write the COBOL program. Okay, so now we will go through COBOL sheet. COBOL coding sheet. COBOL coding sheet. Okay, so what is COBOL coding sheet is? It is a set of some rules from where you start typing the COBOL keywords. Okay, set of rules which tells you and which makes your compiler to understand that it is a COBOL program. Okay, so how to know this is in the command prompt give COLS calls. Okay, you're giving calls. So when you give calls, you can see there are here you can see there are 72 columns. Okay, like this 72. This is 7 stands for 70, 1 and 2. So maximum you can use up to 72. Okay, after 72, from 73, the system is using some numbering concept to understand the code internally. So this is not of our headache. So we are not at all concentrating after 73. Okay, and one thing is here you have to always use CSR. CSR stands for cursor. So wherever you are placing your cursor, okay, and I'm placing my cursor here. I am typing here 5. Okay, so from the point where you are putting your cursor, it will move 5 columns left or right. Now see, I have used 5 here. I kept my cursor on D. I am using my function key as F10. So it is going to take 5 columns towards the left side. Okay. Similarly, I am keeping my cursor here. Okay, I am giving 5 and I am keeping my cursor on W and I am using a function key F8. So it will take 5 lines down. Okay, similarly if you want to go at the bottom you are using M and F8. Okay, M, then your function key F7 will take you at the top, M, your function key F8 will take you to the bottom. Okay, so as I was discussing about the coding sheet, okay, now your coding sheet, okay, your coding sheet will start from your column number 1. Column number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5, then 6, then 7. Always remember when you are writing a COBOL program in your ZOS system, okay, you will always place a star here at column number 7, okay, which will indicate your compiler that it should not read this line. It is telling to compiler to ignore this line. Okay, the compiler will not read the line in front of which at column number 7 there is a star. So not reading a line in the sense your compiler is assuming this is a comment. Okay, so for us to identify the comment, when you place a star in front of any line at column number 7, okay, your operating system will change the color to blue. Here now you see, now this line is not read by your compiler. Okay, so now let us make use of this comment and we'll try to comment our program. Okay, so what I am doing is, okay, going forward I'll be explaining some of the short keys here. Okay, one is to insert a line. To insert a line I am using I, which will insert one line. Okay, so when you are placing I in front of I on line number 1, it is inserting a line next to line number 1. Okay, I want to insert a line before your line number 1. So give an I here, hit enter here. Okay, so now I am taking my cursor back to your column number 5, column number 6, column number 7. I am placing a star and I am saying this is my first COBOL program. Okay, so you place an star here or you don't place. Your compiler is least bothered about this. What your compiler will be checking is whether there is a star at column number 7. So hit enter now. So what it is saying is this is my first COBOL program. Okay, this is about comment. Okay, similarly you can comment your entire program by giving star everywhere like this. Okay, star here, star here. So these lines are commented. Okay, okay. Now what we will do is, now I'll try to explain you the next column. Okay, so remember your column number 7 is the comment column. Your column number 8 is a column from where your all your divisions will start. Okay, your COBOL program in ZOS is identified by 4 divisions. Okay, in that presently for today's class I'm just taking identification division. Okay, identification division. For today's class I'm taking identification division and your procedure division. Okay, so your identification division indicates your compiler that you are going to start your COBOL program coding. Okay, whatever is there written before identification division, your compiler will not consider it inside your COBOL program. Okay, so for your compiler to understand that I am writing a COBOL program, a mandatory division is your identification division. Okay, so this is one mandatory division. Okay, so now how to comment this? How to comment this? How to comment and tell that this is a mandatory division. I will do an I here and will give a star here. Say that identification division is mandatory. Okay, now your second mandatory division is your program ID. Okay, so it is not considered as a division. Okay, so second thing which is important is your program ID. Okay, so program ID. So you can see now here your identification division, your program ID, your data division, your working storage section, procedure division. These all are starting from your column number 8. So from column number 8 to column number 72, your actual COBOL coding will start from column number 8 to column number 72. So your next mandatory division is your procedure division. Procedure division. Your procedure division will indicate your compiler that your actual processing of the data, okay, accepting of the data, processing of the data, all the calculations and displaying the actual code which needs to be written in a COBOL program will be always written after your procedure division. Okay, The main calculation, whatever happens, will happen after your procedure division. Okay, so at the last you can see there is something written as stop run. Okay, stop run. So stop run, what it will do, it will stop your program execution, and it will, if you commit this stop run, okay, your program will go under a loop, means your compiler will not give and control to your operating system back once the program execution is completed. Okay, once this program execution is completed, I have to indicate to the compiler that okay, my coding is done, I am stopping my coding. Okay, so that is informed by your stop run. Okay, stop run. So there is something called as your program ID. Program ID. Okay, program ID is a mandatory thing which will indicate the compiler that I am giving a input to you which you need to check the syntax, and that name of that input is your program name, that is add pgm01. Add pgm01 is my program name. So your compiler will identify each program by a program name which is unique and which should not cross your 8 characters. So here what is the maximum length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So see here, maximum is 8. We should not give more than 8. So your compiler will identify every COBOL program by the program ID. By the program ID. So your program ID should not cross 8 characters. Okay. So in most of the cases when you see in real time, this program ID and this member name, this both will be same. In real time, this member name here given and the program ID both will be same. If it is different also, your compiler will identify it using your program ID. So your next mandatory field for the compiler to execute your program is your program ID. Used to identify the program name. Okay, so and your program name should not cross 8 characters and should not start with special characters. Should not start with special characters and numbers. Okay, in between we can use number and special characters. Okay, one more mandatory division is your procedure division. Mandatory division is your procedure division. Okay, so now at column number 7 I have given star and I have commented. Okay, now we will go to the program and we will see what is the program. Okay, so every COBOL program, it will start with a division called as identification division, which will inform the compiler that I am going to write a COBOL program. So your compiler will understand that, okay, whatever code is coming to me, it is a COBOL code. Second is your program ID, which will make your compiler understand that, okay, this is the program I have to compile, and it should not exceed 8 characters. Now here there is one division which is not required presently, is your data division. Okay, data division is used to give the required data structure which is required in the program in the procedure division. Okay, this we will study later. Now one more important is your working storage section. Okay, working storage section. Your working storage section will identify you the temporary variables which are used in the program. Okay, temporary variables. Whenever you come across working storage section in any COBOL program, keep in your mind that the variables declared after working storage section are all your temporary variables. Okay, so what are temporary variables? These variables will not hold the data. Okay, these variables will not hold the data. These variables will pass the data given to them to the actual record variables. Okay, there is a concept of record structure and record variables. Okay, that will come into picture when we are using the file system. Okay, so only thing we have to understand when we are using your working storage section is whatever variables we are writing in your working storage section, all the variables will be your temporary variables. So if someone asks you what are temporary variables, these are the variables which are not going to hold the data into your COBOL program. These are the variables which are used for temporary calculation and will pass the data to the record variables. Okay, so next thing is what are your record variables? Record variables are the part of the record structure which will indicate you how the data is coming from your file system. Okay, so here I am trying to explain little bit in deeper so that going forward you will understand the concepts. So record variables are used to identify you the type of the data which is coming from the file system. So we have a concept called as record structure. Your record structure will describe the record type. Okay, suppose one record I am passing it as name and the second record I am passing it as a number. So your record structure will inform your compiler that, okay, so first variable is a name and the second variable is a number. So that declaration will be doing under a record structure. Okay, so under working storage section we are always using a temporary variables, and all your temporary variables, the standard naming convention or the standard way of declaring your working storage section is we are using 01. Okay, 01, we always use 01 for your temporary variables. Okay, so what is 01 is there is a concept called as level numbers in COBOL. Level numbers, so 01 is the highest level number, like your we have a concept of parent child. Similarly we have a concept of level numbers. 01 is the highest level number and your this is the first level number. Now if I am declaring 01, okay, x of 1. Okay, next if I declare 0 to, okay, x of 2. So what it is informing to the operating system is this is a sub variable inside this x1. So if you want to refer x2, if you want to refer x2, you can use your x1 also. Okay, you can use your x1 also. So if you pass a data to x1, okay, so your data will come to x2 also. So this is the next concept which we will be understanding later. So like this we have up to 49. Okay, 49 is the maximum level number. Okay, after that there are some different level numbers which are used only for special type of calculations, like we have 66 level number, then we have 88 level number, and we have 77 level number. Okay, so your level numbers are starting from 0 1. Your maximum is 49. After that 66, 88 and 77 are your special level numbers used for different purpose. So these all are part of your COBOL concepts. Going forward we will go through all these things. So now presently as we are using 0 1, I am just trying to explain you 0 1 is a highest level number or the first level number which is used to identify a temporary variable inside a working storage section. So now let me remove this. Okay, so now using 0 1 I have declared one variable ws num1. Okay, so I want to inform to the compiler that ws num1 is going to hold numeric data. Okay, numeric data. So a numeric data in COBOL is identified by 9. If you write 9 and open brace and 0 2, it means that number 1 is going to hold a numeric data. Okay, similarly number 2 is going to hold a numeric data. Your total is going to hold a numeric data which can exceed up to 0 3. Maximum value will be 0 3. So you can give like this also, give a dot here and remove this whatever is written, or you initialize this to zeros. So now at present if you display number 1, number 1 ws number 1, it will be having 0 0, ws number 2 0 0, ws number 3 0 0 0, because all these temporary variables, the initial value I am assigning it to 0. Initial value I'm assigning it to 0. Okay, so these are three temporary variables. Now here comes your actual code of your COBOL program where you will do all the calculations. How I am identifying? I am identifying it using a procedure division. So in procedure division what I am doing, I am using a accept keyword at line number 16. I am using an accept keyword. So whenever you use an accept keyword, your data is given through your JCL. Okay, that JCL I will explain you. Okay, so I am accepting two numbers, accept here and accept here. So two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Okay, after that I am trying to add this number 1 and number 2 using a compute keyword. Compute keyword. Okay, so now at today's class when you go through all these things, it will come to your mind that okay, how many words are there, how I will come to know there is an accept, there is a compute, there is a display, like this how many keywords are there. So going forward when you go on using the programs,